This is the GOAT A3000 from ECOVACS, and it's a robotic mower that uses LiDAR technology as well as cameras and Wi-Fi to actually map out the yard either automatically or with you remotely controlling it, and then it's going to obey scheduled tasks or even do manual mowing as you desire, and it stays in dead straight lines and takes care of all of your yard while you're doing whatever you want to do. All right, so we have the ECOVACS GOAT A3000, and this has LiDAR technology as well. And we're literally going to take this thing out of the box and put it to use. A little different than most of our reviews, especially on robotic lawnmowers. Usually we pull them out, start talking about features, things like that. We're going to change it up today and literally show you kind of start to finish. We may time lapse some of this, but getting this thing set up, getting it started, mapping it out. And by the way, you don't have to do mapping. But anyway, this is part of the docking station. Let's get this unpackaged and then we'll get started. All right, so the dock is sitting here ready for power. We need to get the power supply to hook to this. And by the way, there's probably 20 feet of cord here. There's also additional cord on the power supply itself. We have power run to right here, so we really don't need it. We can leave it all balled up. But anyway, that's your power supply. And I believe this thing charges in just a few hours from zero. So pretty quick charging. But first thing we're going to do is kind of get this thing not nailed down, but screwed down. There's a little Allen key included, but we're going to use our little impact driver. And these are just little hex key real coarse screws. They're not going to grab really tight. So if you've got real loose soil, you don't have to tighten them really tight. These are weather tight connections, so you don't have to worry about, even here in the Florida rainstorms, should keep this from getting wet, causing a short. And if you want to, there's screw holes here. You can mount this to the wall, keep that out of the weather as well. Should have a little blue light here that should show that you have power. There is no antenna to set up. So many of these robot mowers have RTK antennas, not on this one. Quickly show the underside here. Got twin cutting disc here on this. Look to be, I would say, probably 5 inches wide, maybe 6. And these little rotating blades right here. And they easily get knocked out of the way when it hits something, if it does hit something, if the obstacle avoidance doesn't kick in. So even when these are spinning and throwing these out, it'll easily kick back and not cut through something. Now once these contacts here come in contact with these here, it should charge the mower. We may have to turn it on, but let's see if it automatically turns on. So now you can see the 4 0 codes. When you turn this off and then turn it back on again, or the battery goes dead, you'll have to put in that code. And I've just got it set to 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see the play button also is a plus sign. This is a minus sign. And the OK is the OK sign, or the enter. So +1 to 3. And then 4 here. And OK. So we're at 97% charged. We did go ahead and charge this before getting here. Also, these little 2 dots right here, there's a little dish right here. This is actually your rain sensor. And what happens is this thing's out mowing. It starts raining. Once that fills up and that makes connectivity across those 2 metal balls there, it's actually going to sense that there's rain, and it will actually send it home to charge and then come back out once that's dried up. All right, so now we're ready to actually install this robot on the app. And let me go ahead and screen record this. So I'm going to go to the ECOVACS app, open it. You can see I have no robots on there. And I'm just going to click here, actually click back. And let's scan to connect. And it's actually opening my camera. Go right here to this barcode. And then it says I've powered on the robot. And next. Pin setting, I've already done that, all set. Press and hold the home button, release when the robot screen shows the 3-second countdown. And then we have to enter the Wi-Fi. So now I'm going to hold the home button for a few seconds here. And now it started the 3-second. Okay, so now it's searching for a network. I've heard the sound. Click next. And now select Wi-Fi name. All right, so we moved the charging pad. And the reason we moved the charging pad is because we didn't have Wi-Fi access in the other one. So we do need Wi-Fi. We don't have to have an antenna, but we do need Wi-Fi. Connecting the home Wi-Fi, connecting the server, bind the robot, name your robot. So we're going to name our mower, and then it says update the firmware from 1.5 to 1.7, and update. Update now. Okay, so we have the robot in the charger. We have it bound to the Wi-Fi. We also did a firmware update, and so we're ready to go here. We can tap on the mower there, and gives us some ads. Prepare charging station, step 1. We've got that. So it's giving you some recommendations. Prepare the robot. Remove the protective cover on the LiDAR camera. We've done that. And please move your robot back to the charging station and check the batteries 50% or above. It is. So now it says mapping. We're going to go to mapping. Another ad. We'll kill that. I want to go to start mapping. Please map your lawn when it's well lit. Yes. Okay. So it's giving me all kind of things here. It says the robot's not in the charging station. So now it's going through a detection mode where it's actually detecting if it's in the charging station. So after it exits the station, then I can manually control this. Please navigate the robot to the starting position and tap start to start mapping. Got it? Now this is really simple. You're literally going to use this like a joystick to drive this. Now some of these mowers have like twin joysticks, like a steering joystick and a throttle joystick, or a directional. This one's just one joystick that you literally use with your thumb or whatever finger you want to drive it. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory on how this works. And all you're going to do is basically border out the yard, or at least the area or zone of the yard that you want to cut. So you're literally going to go around and make the border, kind of the most outside area that you want cut in the yard. And then once you get back to where you started, it's automatically going to recognize that. You click in, and it actually makes the map. Now, after you make the map, you can actually go in and add things like no-go zone. Say, so like there's a big tree right here in the middle of the yard, and so I'm going to go over and actually go around this tree. You see it there on the app, and I'm creating a no-go zone. It says, got it. You're going to start and end on that, and then once you complete it, you're going to name it whatever it is, and then it's going to create a no-go zone. And after it's complete, it's going to go back to the station and charge, and then you can actually tell it to go start. So you can manually go into the app and select the area you want to mow, click start. It's now going to back out of the charging dock or the charging station and go out and mow that area that you selected. Now, we'll show a little bit later, you can also schedule this where it automatically comes out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. or whatever times you decide. And as you can see in our app, we now have multiple zones set up or multiple areas set up. You can have schedules for each one of those. So it may mow 1 or 2 or 3 of those zones in one day, and the next day mow a different set of zones. You can have different heights for the actual mowing deck to reside, how fast it's going to go. All those things can be adjusted right inside the app and be scheduled to come out and do something, or you can manually just tell it to come out and do it. I'm even here, even going in and saying I want to rotate the map. So many things you can do right here in the app without having to access the mower or anything else. And you can see here, I can also go into the mower settings, And then from there, I can select whether I want the mowing efficiency, or whether I want it to go quick, or whether I want it to go slow. I can also adjust the mowing height, again, for different areas, or for kind of globally if I want to. So I selected at 2.8, and then I can even set it into, is it a high grass environment, normal environment, flat ground. So basically all the LiDAR information or the LiDAR technology on the mower is going to adjust accordingly and do things differently based on the selections you're making here. You can even turn the rain sensor on, as well as animal protection on. Now, it's always going to have obstacle avoidance, but in animal protection mode later in the evening, it will actually go home to charge and won't stay out. You can also select the rain delay to say 30 minutes, an hour. I'm actually going to say start mowing right after the rain stops, after the rain sensor is actually cleared off, and then it will start mowing again. Again, all of these settings in the app, you don't even have to be near the mower. They can be in the dock, and you can be sitting in your chair at night and adjust all of these things. And you can even see here on the map where it actually gives you an overall square footage of how much it's mowing and how much it has mowed. And then a little bit about your robot if you ever need the serial number. All of that is in there, as well as a maintenance schedule. And it will tell you when it's time to replace the blades after 80 hours. You can even order it right there from the app. So making it really, really easy. And by the way, changing those blades, simple Phillips screw, back those out and replace those blades. Very easy to do so. And this is where you can actually see these different zones and be able to, number one, see just very briefly kind of a summary of what's the height adjustment and how fast do you have it set to mow, and all that right there on a visual indicator on that map. And again, you can go in and adjust these things. And you can make adjustments on your manual mowing when you actually manually tell it to come out and mow a certain area, as well as your auto mowing as well. So you can have that set differently. So if you are manually mowing, maybe you know it's going to be higher, and it will adjust that accordingly. This is kind of a real-time run by here with also the sound on, and then I've got this sped up a little bit right here. You can see the straight lines this thing is mowing. It really does a great job of staying on track and being able to go down, turn around, come back, and keep those lines just straight as an arrow. I will say sometimes it will miss a small patch, but it's not because it got off. It literally will have a patch that's the same width all the way down, so it will either come back and get it later during that session, or the next session it'll come back and clean that up. Also, you'll see right here, there's a bare spot in the yard. It can steer around that. In this case, it kind of went into it. There's a bigger sandy patch where we repaired some lawn, and it will totally avoid that. But you can see how if you do have bare spots or even like concrete in the yard, things like that, it can recognize that and be able to steer around it as well. Now, what I'm amazed at with really a lot of robotic lawnmowers, but especially with the ECOVACS, is once you run this, by the way, we've had this running a couple of weeks now, and once you run it for a while, it really does help out your yard because it keeps that yard maintained, and something about it really helps that yard grow in a lot thicker and a lot greener when it's staying maintained and you're not letting it grow 4, 5, 6 inches. Now we've got the GoPro set up here, and I've got this probably on, 20x speed here as it's running back and forth. Again, just kind of showing the straight lines it's able to run without really hardly any adjustment at all. You don't see it really steering or anything else. Now in a moment you'll see it get here on the edge of the lawn and maybe make some changes and maybe make some turns and things like that when it's actually getting to the edge. But otherwise, when it's on a straight run and it's all in yard, it really does a great job. This is an example of the schedule here where you can have different days, do different zones or different areas, and you can have those different settings for those specific schedules as well. So really handy app to be able to go in and set those things and be able to adjust it based off the things that you want to happen. And here's a little more real-time footage, and this is kind of how fast it goes, but really truly who cares when you're inside sipping some sweet tea or some ice water of how slow it's going. But again, it's just going to keep going, and even if it can't do the whole area without one battery charge, it will go back, charge up, come back out, and finish that. And so here you see it actually doing some edge trimming as well, where it actually goes, you know, onto the sidewalk and trims all the way to the edge of the grass. So you've also got control over that, of whether you want it to do that or not, or whether you want it to just stay on the boundary that you've created. And here's a good idea after it's mowed, and just does a great job on this lawn. You can get the ECOVACS GOAT A3000 LiDAR robot mower for about $3,000. It's going to cover 3/4 of an acre, or be able to cut 3/4 of an acre. Now, it won't do that on one charge, but it will be able to go out and go back and charge and come back out and do 3/4 of an acre in a single day. You get a 2-year warranty with this. Really great product. By the way, we'll also be reviewing this little brother, the A2500, which is a little bit different setup. It does use an RTK antenna, so look out for that. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us the thumbs down, but let us know in the comments why. Have a great day and keep smiling.